So here we go with the Technology Show. We're here in our studio at Columbus State University. I'm Michael Baltimore, your host today. We have a studio full of people ready to talk about technology. Let's take a look at the crew. There's Daniel. He's our studio manager. Daniel, give us a high five over there. There he is. Now, behind Daniel, or right to his left, is Omo Masalu. Omo, how we doing on the board over there?
Oh, good.
All right, good shot of you back there. We have one new person to the studio crew coming from the English department. John, give us a high five in the back of the room over there.
How's it going?
All right, so, all right, that's our crew. We're live today, and we're going to talk about technology. You know, we have all of these gadgets around in our studio. We all have computers, laptops, desktop computers. We have smartphones of every sort. We have Macs, we have PCs. You know, the Mac and PC war. Where do you stand, Mac or PC? We're going to have talk about that and just see what's going on in the world in terms of the balance of computers, because you don't have an iPad? Are you kidding me? You don't have an iPad? What is an iPad? Well, this is an Apple device. Let's take a look at it. Now, here's the screen, and these are my apps, and you'll see I just made a little scroll there on our iPad. So we've got this iPad hooked up to a television here, so you can kind of see what's going on. We've got a lot of apps. Let me just click one here to show you this. This is an interesting app called Pulse. And Pulse is an aggregator. It's one of those things that you really on your own choose the kind of information, the kind of magazines, the kind of RSS feeds that you want information about, and then you connect it and put it on a page. And then what these RSS feeds will do is begin to really pick and choose the very latest story in the news, and they'll put them on there for you. And as you see here, there's a Wall Street Journal at the top, and these go vertical in terms of the different content, the different magazines, but also horizontal with the features. And so what you'll see as I'm moving this Wall Street Journal, and then there's all things digital, you begin to see these stories, and they give you a picture, and they give you a title, and then you can take a look. I actually have Popular Mechanics on there, one of my favorites from a long time ago. There's Android Central. I think, John, you like the Androids, right?
Oh yeah, I actually have I have one of the latest Androids actually. Okay. Honestly, Android has just as much app features in my opinion. I guess you could say I'm one of the Android people as opposed to just Mac and iPhones, but
okay, well, we'll forgive you for that for right now. We'll get back to that, and we'll have that battle over the Apple and the Android app market and see what's going on. Now, Android, of course, is Google Play, and you'll find those apps in there. And can I ask you a question, John?
Yeah.
Have you bought an app in Google Play?
Actually,
Are all your apps free?
No, not all apps, of course. There's just plenty of apps that are covered by small independent companies that try to sell their games or their software. I have not bought one personally. I actually just got this within the last couple months, and I've been looking around still. But a lot of the free ones you have, like you know, the Washington Post actually has an app that they update constantly. I look at that sometimes. But no, I mean they're always generally cheap. They're between $2.99 to maybe $10.99 if it's something really extensive. But
okay, well that makes sense. You know, the Apple Store has a wide variety of apps in it as well for your iPhone or iPad, and those are 99 cents, $1.99. Some are very expensive, by the way, if you want to take a look at that. Well, we've got a lot of things on our show we're going to talk about today, and we're going to get back with our crew over there. And Daniel, you have a laptop as well. Now, what do you have on your laptop screen right now? For those who are viewing, we might want to know what you're keeping up with here.
I was reading about this Aaron Schwartz case.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, Aaron Schwartz was an MIT student who had apparently downloaded about 1 million or so of these articles off JSTOR, which is like scholarly articles and stuff. So I didn't really get to read too much about it, but he was about to be he's about to have a court date and everything. And
Right, prosecution on that. He had, if I understood it correctly, he had set up a computer at MIT in a closet there and was downloading all of this information he thought that we needed to know about. Is that the way it played out?
I think so. I didn't really get to go into it too much, but I think his purpose was to just share the information, because normally you have to pay. I know here at CSU, they pay for us to be able to access JSTOR and other types of article
Right. The
databases.
JSTOR is a huge repository of all of those journal articles, journals in fact, and then the articles, and there are some paid services, I take it, and he was saying that this information should be available to people, and then he was prosecuted. He was actually coming up with a court date, and a lot of pressure. Federal prosecutors were after him in this scenario. Very interesting story. We probably need to take a little bit more time as we do this show to investigate some of these and get down to what's actually going on, and then what is our stance. You're watching right now. This is straight from a website here live at Columbus State University in Columbus, Georgia, part of the University System of Georgia. You see right now a live cam that is a webcam that is atop of I believe it's the Student Center. And it shows the very bottom of our clock tower, and you see a couple of students walking across campus there. It's a little cloudy day here in Columbus, but you know, there's really a lot going on. Let's take a look at what John has on his computer. John, tell us a little bit about the story you're looking at. What website is that? Is that TechCrunch?
Yeah, it's TechCrunch. I actually found a story that was roping along the lines of our apps that we were talking about, you know, iPhones and Droids. And there's an interesting app that they've developed, and I think it's going to be for both platforms, that's going to be called Stick and Find, which is actually something you place on an item. You have keys, or apparently even your cat, if you want to be so crazy. And the app functions as a radar that you can actually wave it around. It'll use GPS technology, and you can find whatever you've lost in your house.
Oh, so you know, if one of us, and I won't point any fingers here in the crew, just in case there is an issue, but there is sometimes we lose our keys, or we just can't find some things. So this particular app, it's a little had some glue on it or something. You stick on the item.
Oh,
and then
basically.
using your iPhone or Android phone, you can find it.
Yep, and apparently even works in areas with limited cell phone reception because it's using Bluetooth technology. So, apparently it has a range of about 100 feet. So how it kind of works is it's more of a hotter, colder kind. It's like playing hot and cold in a way when you're looking around. So you have to know the general location, but if you have that down, you'll find it.
Okay. All right. That's very interesting. Did it say how much that app cost, John?
Well, they're still developing it. Apparently, it's an Indiegogo campaign, so it's being funded right now. They've blown past the goal of $70,000 by already raising $734,000.
Okay, so yeah, I'm really interested in these websites where, and you guys know the name of them. Maybe you can help me with this, but
Yep.
you know, somebody has a good idea and they need funding for it, and they'll put the idea out, and then people can choose to donate money.
Indiegogo,
Kickstarter.
Yeah, Kickstarter.
Kickstarter's
that's
the
right.
most famous one,
Kickstarter
I'd
was
say.
is probably the most popular and most known of those sites where you actually put the idea out there, and see if people like it. They can start donating to you. If they donate to a certain amount, I think they get they get one of the devices or one of the products, or they can become a partner. And people have raised literally hundreds of thousands of dollars for projects because people found out about them and wanted to be a part of it. So nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, way above their goal too. I've seen a lot of projects raise more than double, sometimes 10 times the amount they asked for.
Yeah, so I don't know where does that money go. Do they just put it in their pocket, or are they actually going to use it?
How it kind of works, and how the reason it does work, or people are willing to fund it, is because what they'll do is they'll have tiered reward levels. So let's say you're funding, I don't know, a hat with GPS technology. I don't know. Some things have been that crazy. So let's say you give them $10, which is like the base level. Well, $10 gets you a thank you, maybe, or maybe the person will personally write something to you about it, and then you'll have first access to the hat. Well, $20 will give you, maybe they'll buy you a free dinner or something like that. It works on that kind of level.
Okay.
It's really interesting.
All right, that's kind of interesting stuff. So, and again, this is one of those devices that stick and find. You know, I know from last week that we had the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Every year, just after the holidays, beginning of January, they have CES. And there's really a lot going on. This is the Consumer Electronics Show. All of the vendors, all of the producers and businesses want to put their products out there for something new. You know, this year they had a foldable phone, a clear phone, and some other things going on. Very interesting. But the big issues, as I saw it, were the 4K TVs, these TVs that are just beyond our budget right now, but eventually have such clarity and so many more pixels in the viewing screen that it's going to be interesting to see how much clarity we need. For those of us who have a 1080p TV and watch it at home, sometimes the picture is just it's too clear. It loses sort of almost wishing for film quality back. But Daniel, you have any thoughts about that in terms of just the you know, this high resolution, high definition picture versus what you see in the movie theater?
Well, if you're going for high resolution, there's a lot of things else you have to worry about rather than just making it so that you can display that type of resolution. You know, all those things are going to be visible, and you have to pay more attention to detail in what you're producing. So.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point because you'll see more detail. You know, when you watch these football games now and sport that we're in the playoffs and so forth right now, but you see the beads of sweat. You see the very fine details, and sometimes I'm not sure we're ready for all those details. So. Therefore, if you're producing video like we do here in the studio, we are going to have to pay attention to what's in the background and what's on there, what's going on in the air. You know, I might just take a moment here to talk about Columbus State Television coming up. That we're in 2013, and this is the year of Columbus State Television. So there's a lot going on with us, and we're going to invite a lot of people in our community to be a part of it. We're developing shows. This technology show is one of those shows that we're going to be a regular on our stream, and we're streaming to the web. We're on local cable. We're everywhere. We're in apps in the Apple Store, in Google Play, and we want you to join us. So just a quick plug for Columbus State Television. And let's take a look now and see what I have on my iPad. Well, I've just started going to Flipboard. This is an interesting app here. I'll just go back for a second to the app itself, and you see the red F there for Flipboard, and I clicked on technology. And so once again, one of my favorites, Netflix, seems to be in the news. I hope they're not in trouble again. You know, right about Christmas and the holidays of this past year, Netflix went out, just completely died, and everybody watching the movies or trying to access Netflix just got nothing, got a black screen. So turns out that had something to do with Amazon. That Amazon, the S3, I believe, or one of those content distribution networks that they use with Amazon, is a provider for Netflix, and so that's what happens. This one talks about a new licensing agreement for Adult Swim and the Cartoon Network show. It's really interesting. I don't know, any of you guys ever watch Adult Swim?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, see, all right, see there's our crew again back there, and these. So if you're viewing this and you don't know Adult Swim, you might need to come over to the studio. These guys will fill you in on what's going on with that, but it's some serious humor, right?
Sometimes.
Okay, yeah. Well, a different type of humor for sure
Yeah.
on this network. Now let's go back real quick to the iPad, and we see that Samsung has sold 100 million Galaxy S smartphones. They have broken the barrier with 100 million Galaxy S smartphones. You guys remember the commercial that they had, Galaxy 3S or S3, I believe, where it showed the Apple store and the guys in line to go get the new Apple iPhone 5, and they were coming up, and people were coming up showing the Galaxy and touching them together and getting the playlist and passing it to each other by simply touching phones and so forth, and people in the line in that commercial said, "Wow, I hope our phone will be able to do that." Oh, it's a great commercial back then. So
it's kind of funny.
Interesting. Now, actually, as you take a look back at this Flipboard in the technology section, it also says that Apple cuts orders for the iPhone parts on weak demand. Daniel, what's happening? We need Louisa in here today because she is the only member of the studio crew that has an iPhone 5, and I'd like to see her take on it. I just changed pages there just to flip. You just flip through pages as you go, and there's kind of interesting some more things about the phone. Now here's a NASA. NASA has some plans to launch an inflatable addition to the International Space Station. We're going to have Sean Cruzen. You guys know Sean Cruzen, right? He's the director of the Coca-Cola Space Science Center here in Columbus, Georgia, associated with the College of Education and Health Professions here at Columbus State University. He keeps us up to date on all of the things going on in space science, and can't wait to bring Sean in and have him talk about this. This is an inflatable edition. Daniel, what do you think about an inflatable edition?
What is it, an inflatable edition?
Yeah, well, I'll read a little bit. It says, getting ready to pump some money into the International Space Station, $17.8 million, contract with Bigelow Aerospace to provide an expandable activity module. And this is an inflatable craft, and they've got a couple of prototypes up there. I just don't know if I want to be in space in something inflatable. That doesn't give me a lot of confidence there.
Oh, I know I've contributed quite a few inflatable things to space. Just by letting go of my balloons.
Right.
I mean, tragic for me, but it seems like it would work out all right.
Okay, all right.
Must be a heyday.
I appreciate your confidence in that. I'm gonna need some metal, some aluminum, some other things there for me to be okay. But all right, we're spending a little bit. You guys take a look at some other technology sites here. We'll come back to them. This is final page from our iPad app Flipboard, and this is under technology. And so you can begin to see a couple things here that talk about. It's more personal, and they're talking about themselves in the middle article there. The Audi autopiloted A7 can drive itself. Oh, all right, guys, you got to help me here. Cars that drive themselves.
Oh, that's
Google's
been
got one of these things out there, right?
Yeah, that's been around for a while, actually.
Yeah, so these things, you just get in the car and it takes you to your destination?
Oh, well,
Are you kidding me? I mean, wait a minute.
Well, yeah, we're starting to get into iRobot there.
Yeah, that's a iRobot.
I just want a flying car.
That show was on TV this week. Watching that iRobot. I don't know. These guys may run rampant here, and we may have some problems. I'm going to continue in our tech show as we go through and show you more apps on the iPad that we can take a look at here. This is just my personal collection of things that I pay attention to. For example, NPR News, and this comes up as an iPhone app, and I think there is the actual iPad app, and you'll begin to see some things that you might find useful as well. You see in this shot, you see CSU TV. That is actually the in the Apple App Store, and you can get it from iTunes. So we certainly want to pay attention to that. Let's take a look at some other things we've got going. Here is Galaxies. Well, actually, this is a screensaver for our laptop here. This is a Mac laptop, MacBook Pro, and this is a screensaver. I'm not sure why we're looking at that, but it's very interesting. We were talking moments ago about the Space Science Center. Now we were showing these planets in Jupiter. That's a giant gas planet there, as you see, and some of the things from those 4 planets out there that are what they call gas giants. All right, so let's take a look. John, what have you got on your computer over there that might be interesting
well,
to you? What's that?
This is something I actually heard about a few months ago, but Google is actually going to be trying to introduce their own internet service at some point. It's called Google Fiber, and this article here talks about how Kansas City was sort of the first city they're attempting to do that at.
Yeah, I remember reading about that. You know, you had to send in nominations, and then they would choose you, and everybody was vying for this. This very fast, I think, internet service and so forth.
The basic speed is up to 1 gigabyte per second. That blows most home internet and some business internet connections completely out of the water. Like it is.
And I could use that. You know, I'm always uploading, downloading something going on. I got online classes, and I've been doing that from home, so I got to get all those video files up very fast. I need that. Let me talk to those people.
Oh, hey, I mean, if you can get it here, we'll vie for it. But yeah, they according to their website, they have as long as you pay a $300 construction fee anyway, you could have basically free internet, which the basic connection is 100 times faster than most broadband internet services.
Well, I find it interesting that everybody's rushing to the internet TV market. We're a television studio here producing this video today. Daniel's monitoring it. You see him staring at that screen over there. Omo's on the audio soundboard mixing it up, and John's finding this site for us. But it's interesting. It's an interesting idea because the regular network TV that came over the cable, now they're on the cable, used to be in air, that you would get it with your antenna. Remember that, guys? Maybe that was before your time. Now it's on this cable, and all those guys are rushing to have some presence on the internet. I find that very fascinating. And now all the internet companies want to be on the TV boxes, and so we're seeing more and more of the televisions with apps, smart TVs, in fact, and they have apps built in. We have some here in the studio, and this notion that you can connect to the internet on your TV. What do you guys think about that? The TV set that you have at home. First of all, let me ask you a question. Do you have a television set in your dorm or apartment? What do you think? Let me survey these 3 guys here. Daniel, what do you think? Do you have a TV?
I personally don't own a television.
Okay, there you go. Omo? You got a TV in your apartment?
Yeah.
You do? All right, there you go. John, what about you?
Well, here's the thing. I do have a TV. It hasn't been plugged in or used for about 2 years now.
Okay, you've got a TV 2 years without having plugged in.
Yeah, I don't have cable.
That's what the people watching the show need to know. These are college students. They're involved in their work here at the university, and they're not watching a plugged-in cable TV now. All right, but you guys, you do watch TV at some point, right? How do you do that?
Well, you were discussing Netflix earlier. That's my main source of entertainment when it comes to television broadcasts.
Right, and how do you watch it, John?
Oh, I watch it on my laptop. I have a laptop I keep at home.
Okay, here we go, right there. Ladies and gentlemen, these guys are watching it on their laptop. Are you kidding me? They're watching TV on their internet.
Internet streaming is the where it is now.
All right, let me ask you one more question. Wireless or wired?
It depends what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, how much time do you spend wireless versus wired What's the ratio? 50-50, 60-40?
50-50 for me.
About 50-50. Omo, is that right for you?
90-10.
90-10, and what's the 90?
Wireless, 90.
Wireless. I had a feeling that we were going wireless here. Oh man, you guys are going to burn up some bandwidth before it's over with. You know, I can understand that. Well, look, everybody's going to the internet. We're trying to get a presence out there. Columbus State Television, prior to its start, was College of Education Health Professions, coehb.tv. We've been streaming to the web for 3 years without a glitch, and we're about to be Columbus State TV all over, everywhere, and we're streaming. You can watch us wireless and wired. We don't care, but you can watch us also on the local cable as well. So hey, a lot of things going on. Let's go back and check our clock tower real quick and just see what's going on. It looks pretty quiet out by the clock tower, guys. You see the wind blowing just a little bit. I guess at this point in time, it's 2:19, as you see on our clock above in the studio there, that we are in the middle of the day, maybe in the middle of a class, and that's why people are not out there. All right, let's just talk a little bit more about any other particular tech issues, any kind of tech stories that we might want to go to. John, you look like you're scrolling through some things there.
Oh, well, yeah. I actually saw something that actually this is an app I have, Gas Buddy. Well, GasBuddy.com. It's a website, but they have an app.
Okay, wait a minute. Tell us about Gas Buddy. What does that do?
Well, its whole point, I believe it's also user generated, but the whole point of it is to find gas stations that have the lowest, find gas stations with the most accurate prices up to time.
Okay,
and then
lowest
find the
prices.
lowest.
This is an app that gives us the lowest price on gas in our particular area.
That's right. And actually, this story is talking about how the gas prices have lowered after the holidays, which, of course, I think is always a trend as far as I've been driving anyway.
Right.
But yeah, I would always recommend using Gas Buddy if you have a chance. It's actually really useful, and it's saved me a few dollars at this point, I suppose.
So this is a site you can go to on your laptop or desktop, but it's also an app as well?
Well, it's probably most useful as an app. When you're in your car, you're more than likely, well, not driving, hopefully. No one's endorsing that, by the way. But maybe as you're thinking about going to a gas station, you're probably going to look up, okay, well, where's the closest one?
These kind of legal spats are, in many ways so common that there are always...
Okay, I don't know. I'm getting some sound over here. I don't know if you guys are going to hear this, but which is fine with me.
Well, he wanted to talk.
Maybe it's picking up on my mic as well.
Yes, this could happen to you.
All right, let's listen to these guys just a little bit.
TheTechShow's content does not dovetail or any of Discovery's current offerings. But I think it's misleading to assume that this is somehow new. I think this has been the case for decades on. I mean,
never happened to us in Tech TV.
Well, we had a very strong editorial kind of firewall that was
for that reason.
And I think at some point when news became more of a product than actual information, when CNN came online and hey, look, we now have a product we can sell. Suddenly became an asset, and anytime you involve large amounts of money, people start, it starts a little bit, you always get a slippery slope. You start somewhere, well, maybe we won't cover it, we'll just kind of ignore it. Suddenly it starts rolling into censorship, into selective bias. I mean, it's the whole concept behind gatekeeping, right? You let people know what's important based on what you consider to be good or not.
I think it hurts us as tech journalists, though, doesn't it? Because now the perception is, Well, I also wonder if it really hurts CES.
All right, I'm going to stop there for just a second. What you've been watching is one of my favorite networks in terms of technology. I certainly have learned a lot from Leo Laporte and his technology network called This Week in Technology, the TWIT network, and the number of shows. I think there are somewhat like 40 shows that he has on a regular basis at twit.tv. And you were just getting a glimpse of that. How was the sound on that, Omo? Was that okay? The sound came
Omo
through?
says it was good.
It was good? Okay, I wasn't sure because this was actually coming out of the TV screen over here, and I've just paused it for a moment. And so the volume was coming out of the TV set, and just it's close enough to my microphone that maybe, hopefully, our audience got to hear some of that. This particular show that you're seeing on the screen right now is done every Sunday evening for a couple of hours in the afternoon on Sunday out in California live, and they bring in different people that have to do with technology, and they have a general discussion about the latest technology. It's really been sort of breakthrough internet television. Leo Laporte is using the same equipment that we're using here. In fact, we developed this studio based on a lot of things that he's done, and so I found it very, very helpful in understanding what's going on today. And I don't mind promoting the Twit Network out there. I've actually been to those studios in Petaluma, California, and I really think that we're doing a lot of the things that they're doing out there because it works for one thing. These were the guys who were originally with Tech TV that was on cable, so now they have their own network and they're doing it the right way, so we certainly want to learn about that. All right, so we are looking at a screen here. This is John, he's Googled some things. This is famous Google, and he's on his computer there. You're seeing his screen live as he moves that mouse around and looks for some of those stories. So that's an interesting. Cyber attack is always those kind of things.
Well,
guys, I think we've been rolling along here pretty well. Let's take a look at bringing this first little show to a close. We're going to this is kind of our first development show on our tech show. In fact, we don't even have a title for this, so maybe we can have some folks help us with a title. I mean, we're not sure what to call this. There's all the good names are taken. Do you think?